In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Innokin Klypse Mecha. Welcome back to Vape. My name's Andrew, and yes, we are looking at the Innokin Klypse Mecha pod device today, and I'm going to show you how to set up the pod, how to use the device, and how to charge it, and all that good stuff. So let's go down and get started. So in front of me, I have the Innokin Klypse Mecha, which I've been informed is apparently meant to be replicating the inner workings of a watch, and that is why there's numbers and clocks and stuff going on here which do not do anything. But you can do things with the screen, which we'll be covering today. So yes, the device is relatively small. It's got a 900 milliamp hour battery. We've got airflow adjustment on the side. We've also got our USB-C charging port on the side. We've got disposable pods, which are magnetized into the top just there. And we've got this dial, which lets us adjust things, which we'll be looking at in more detail later. But I do want to start with how to prep and prime the pods today, but I won't be using this one. So this one is the 0.6 ohm pod, but instead I wanted to use the backup, the spare that's inside the box, which is a 1.2 ohm. So let's just drop that out. And handily, they've actually changed the color of the sort of filling port there to indicate which one's which. So black is 0.6, blue is 1.2, and that's what we'll be using today. Okay, so what we have now is the 1.2 ohm pod just here, and I'm going to choose bar salts cola in a 10 milligram. Now this is a Nic salt, so this is a 50/50 e-liquid, which is going to be ideal for this 1.2 ohm pod or even the 0.6 ohm pod. So we'll be using this today. So now we've got the bottle out, what we're going to need to do is get our pod just here, and then open up the fill port just there with your nail. And then what you want to do is get the nib and just pop it in there and fill it up. So you want to fill it up as much as you can, all the way to the top ideally. Let's see how much e-liquid I've got left in my bottle just here. Yeah, I can make it. So I've filled it all the way to the top. I've closed the port just there. And then what we need to do is give it 5 minutes to saturate. And I say that because this is a disposable pod and it's got fresh cotton inside for wicking that e-liquid to the coil or the mesh that's in there. And if you just fill this up and vape on it immediately, you're going to burn that out because that cotton is still dry. It's not going to be saturated yet. So be patient, wait 5 minutes, and that will get you the best life out of this. Because if you burn it out, you've got to throw this away immediately and replace it. So 5 minutes, that will be saturated, and then you'll be ready to vape. And the next time you fill it up, you won't need to wait because it will already be saturated. And I'd recommend that you never let the e-liquid drop below the sort of top of the coil there, because otherwise you might run the risk of, you know, letting it run dry essentially and then burning it out that way. So now we're waiting our 5 minutes. Let's take a look at the device. So whilst we're waiting for that coil to saturate inside our 1.2 ohm pod, let's take a look at the device. So we've got our dial here and our screen. So if I move it a bit, it says power on with 3 clicks. So Innokin are notorious for using a 3-click on and off versus 5-click that pretty much everyone else uses. So what we need to do is press this button 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, like so. That's going to show Innokin. So what you might find immediately is that you're trying to adjust the wattage and nothing's happening, and that's because it's already locked. So to unlock it, you need to press and hold for a second or so, and then that will start flashing, and then you can go down to 6 or all the way up to 18 watts here, and you can just, you know, scroll this dial just there to change the wattage like so. It does have a smart mode, so when you drop in that coil, it will adjust. So let's just test that out, shall we? So let's put it to 6 watts and press and hold to enter that 6 watts. Let's drop our coil into the top, and there we go, 10 watts. It's gone. You've got the 1.2 ohm and it's showing that there. And then it's gone and selected 10 watts. I'm going to take the pod out because I don't want to burn it out, but we've got our ohms at the bottom there, and then we can get into the menu with 2 clicks, and then we have a menu. So we've got coil just there, so if I press and hold to go into coil, we've got wattage or voltage just there. If I go and back out, it will take me back to the main menu just there. We've got settings, so let's just try and get to that there. Press and hold in settings. We've got time, so you can adjust the time just there. We also have screen and query. So screen just here is the timeout of when the screen will dim and turn off. Query, which is an odd way of saying information, is if I press and hold to get into it, it will tell you, oh, I've gone on to the wrong one. So let me just get back to that. So I've got to go to settings first, press and hold, then down to query. And if I press and hold, that then gives you all the other information. So it shows your voltage, your ohms, resistance, and how many puffs you've got there. So if you want to know your information, make sure you query the device. So there we go. And then if I go back into the menu, you've got cutoff, which is the vape cutoff. So how long you can vape before it stops giving power. And the maximum is set to 10 seconds. I just leave it to that. I don't know why you'd want to change it personally, but there you go. And then you go back, and that is it basically. And then to turn off the device, it's 3 clicks. So now we've taken a look at the device, we can get our pod, drop that into the top like so, and then you want to be looking at airflow. So you've got airflow on the side here, you've got fully wide open, or you can close that right down and have a more restricted vape. That's just down to your own personal preference of what you like to vape like. That has that there for you to choose. Now on the other side is charging, which is luckily on the side, so you can keep this stood up whilst charging, and then that means that pod is going to be level with the pressure inside and not oversaturate. If you lay this down and charge, well then remove this first and keep this upright, because if the pod's on its side for too long, that pressure will cause it to oversaturate and it will become spitty, slurpy and horrible. It's difficult to recover from, and you'll probably need to replace the pod. So keep it upright at all times, even if it's in your bag, whether you're charging it or in your car or in your pocket or whatever, keep it upright if you can, and that will give you the best longevity out of the pod. So there we go. That is how to use the Innokin Klypse Mecha. Hopefully you've learned something today. My name's Andrew. This is Vampire Vape. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.